You talked about language before.
Language as the ability to communicate, or language as the primal communication, language as the technical means. It must have taken millions of years for our imaginations to finally we drew, and then from there we created all sorts of other accounting methods of counting and storing and exchanging, and of trade, of bartering, and a measure of a device against to represent representation, and until we eventually got down to the alphabet. And then the alphabet was a great revolution in language, because it was a phonetic system which it gave the Phoenician sea people who came to Mesopotamia, who came to Iraq and the Euphrates civilizations and the Nile civilizations to trade. They didn't understand the hieroglyphics, and they didn't understand the cuneiform, the drawings, the pictograms. So they had their own language, which was not a non-written language. So they listened, phonetics. They listened to the names that were called for the pictures. They listened, and then they wrote down a system just to write down how it sounded. And that was called a phonetic system. And then that system traveled down to our area here, down the coast, and the Philistines, who were a form of these Phoenicians, who were using it, and it met the Canaanites and the Israelites, and they synthesized it with a certain grammar relating to a philosophy of time, God, the Yud Hey Vav Hey. The past, present, future, which is embedded in grammar. Everything has a past, a present, and a future, and it's one of the main components of Hebrew grammar and language. There are many different components embedded in it, which break about both time and then circumstance and then intention, and that's the way that language and the imagination were compartmentalized and micro deconstructed. So the question is, can we go through a similar process ourselves in this radical change times? But yes, they're very different, but in some far out way they may be the same, or they think that we will need to organize our imaginations towards our targets, and not only our imagination towards our targets, but our imagination vis-a-vis other people and all their incredible tools towards our small shared targets, which allow us to be communities, which allow us to keep our entities as humans in society and day to day, without the trudgery and the treachery of government, oppressive government, but just individuals who are empowered with each other and sharing with each other on a small basis. Then it can truly be a wonderful environment, interactive and and liberal and informed and inspired. It could be the subject of it is already showing itself to be the subject. One has to keep away from conflict and other things.